안녕하세요. Hello everybody, my name is Graci Kim. I am the author of the Gifted Clans trilogy. I used to be an ex-diplomat and now I spend my life writing books and being lost in my imagination. We have such a rich mythology. And I knew a little bit about it growing up because my 할머니 and my parents used to tell us these stories. If we didn't, my two sisters and I, if we didn't go to sleep, 할머니 would say, oh, the 도깨비 are going to come eat you up, or the 귀신 are going to come haunt you. So I heard about these stories growing up. But it was only until I became an adult and I read about Greek mythology or, Egyptian mythology or Roman mythology that people loved and celebrated and knew. And I said, well, we have also a very rich mythology. Why are there not more stories about them? So it was this desire to share these stories with not just Korean diaspora kids overseas, although they were a huge part of who I wanted to reach, but for anyone. Because books should be for anyone, right? Korean books are not only for Korean people, they're for everyone who wants to experience a little bit of magic. So for me, I just wanted to share the richness of what we have with others, and I just personally love it. I think our creatures are so cool. In fact, my favorite one is one that actually inspired the entire series, the beginning seed of the entire series, which was the story of the bear and the tiger. Yes. I just loved this idea that we came from bears. It was like, really? What a fascinating story. Also, it felt very unique because there are lots of different creation stories in different cultures, but I've never heard one like this. And I think actually that was one that I think my mum or my dad told me, not my 할머니. But I was just fascinated by it. And then I had so many questions. I think as a writer, your brain is filled with questions. And I think that's why we write, in order to see what answers there could be. And for me, I kept thinking, okay, well, that's great that we were the bear, but what happened to the horangi? What happened to that guy?
Always had the question.
Yes. So as writers, you ask the question, what if, a lot. What if this happened? What if this happened? So I thought, well, what if these descendants of the horangi and the bear continued on, and what if they became diaspora Koreans? What if their lineage gave them magic? What if there were misunderstandings between the two clans? What would this world look like? And that seed of an idea is what became the Gifted Clans trilogy. In terms of the development adaptation into a screen production, so the Disney Channel has optioned it to be turned into a TV series, but that doesn't mean it will happen, it means it could happen. So I'll just keep my fingers crossed, maybe one day it will be turned into a TV series, and that would be amazing. And in terms of a Korean translation, it's happening. So a Korean translation is coming out next year.
When?
I'm actually not sure exactly when next year, but in 2025. I think maybe mid 2025. I'm very excited, yeah. So I also have the first book in my new series coming out next year in 2025. It's called Dream Slinger. It's also inspired by Korean mythology and Korean culture. It's kind of like X-Men, the movie X-Men meets Pokemon. It's like the two worlds mixed together. So Professor X from the X-Men, if he was a Korean king, and if magical powers came from our dreams, and if dreaming was a real place, that a certain genetically mutated population can access this dream world, and they can catch magical creatures that in real life give them powers. And the people who can do this the best is the Royal Kingdom of Hanguk. It's a fictional, essentially it's Yeouido inside Seoul. So Seoul and Korea exists, but there's a separate sub-kingdom of dream slingers in Korea that is not part of Korea. It's a separate place. But they have been closed to the world for the last 10 years. No one knows anything about them. They're very secretive. But this year, they're opening their annual Dream Slinger trials to any teenager in the world. And so it's the story of one girl called Aria, who's 14, from Texas in America, and she travels to the Royal Kingdom of Hanguk to compete in these very competitive trials, in this competition, to try to learn this magic. I'm very excited. It has things like flying kama, a flying kama, and to call a flying kama, you have to sing or whistle the first 5 notes of the Arirang folk song, things like that. So it's going to be lots of fun things, and I'm very excited. But that comes out next year in 2025. Hello everybody. I would love to just share with you one message that I hold so dear, which is no matter how old we are, no matter how jaded or tired we've become, let's just remember that magic is all around us. I create magic in my books every day, and I just want all of us to remember that small child inside all of us, and to remember every time you step outside the door of your house every morning, there is goodness and light and magic all around us if we just choose to see it. So that is my one parting message to you, and thank you so much for listening to me talk.